This is IGN. This live-action manga adaptation is a miracle. This is your IGN review of Netflix's One Piece Season 2 by Rafael Montemayor. Let's get something out of the way first. There is no need to worry about Tony Chopper, because the beloved doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates is perfect. This was arguably the biggest challenge Netflix's live-action adaptation of Eiichiro Oda's manga masterpiece One Piece faced in its second season. The talking reindeer with medical skills is one of the main characters and featured prominently in the story, but a mutant talking reindeer that transforms into different human hybrid forms is not just an expensive work of VFX, but one that walks too fine a line between cartoony and real. Thankfully, this is not a Sonic the Hedgehog situation. Instead, Chopper is the standout of the season. Not only does the VFX work look fantastic, but the way Chopper moves, acts, and interacts with the world and other characters around him is fantastic and makes him look and feel like he is a living, breathing part of the show's world. He's just cartoony enough that you believe the looks of shock and wonder in Luffy, played by Iñaki Godoy, when he first encounters this strange creature, and as voiced by Michaela Hoover, Chopper is just the most adorable character of 2026 so far, and one that'll rip your heart out and tear it apart. Chopper is not the only impressive bit of VFX wizardry in Season 2 of One Piece, which improves upon the first season and fixes its biggest issues. We are far removed from the monstrosity that was Arlong in Season 1, and instead, we get a cavalcade of visually stunning creatures, characters, and locales. We meet giants, a giant whale, dinosaurs, and even an otter riding a vulture into battle, and they all look like they've been brought straight out of the pages of Oda's manga. Meanwhile, the costume and hair design for the more human characters finds the right balance of realism and cartoon. The world of One Piece is an incredibly cartoonish one, and Season 2 continues to thrive in that tone, balancing absurd comedy and lightheartedness with serious and often quite bloody action and heartbreaking drama. With most character introductions and flashbacks out of the way, Season 2 of One Piece is all about its world. We follow Luffy and the other Straw Hats as they finally enter the Grand Line and immediately get embroiled in a conflict with the vast and nefarious criminal syndicate Baroque Works. This season, the different towns and islands we encounter feel more developed. An early standout is Logtown, which is filled with little details about history and culture that makes the world of One Piece feel truly lived in. Without more flashbacks to flesh out the core characters, One Piece risked becoming a bit stagnant this season. Though the manga and anime develop the characters over time, it can take several years for a character to go through any significant development, which wouldn't really work on TV. The season fixes this by adding material that isn't strictly in the source material, but might as well be. For instance, Zoro, played by Makenyu, spends a big chunk of the season struggling with almost being killed by Mihawk last season, having visions of the warlord of the sea and fighting to slowly regain his self-confidence. In fact, everyone in the crew gets a moment to shine this season, which helps make every character feel important and essential. Arguably, the biggest creative choice the live-action One Piece makes is to tell the story in a more linear fashion than the manga or anime. This means featuring characters and events that aren't revealed until much later in the manga in a more chronologically correct order here. For example, the season starts with a fateful meeting between Gold Roger, played by Michael Dorman, and Monkey D. Garp, played by Vincent Regan, right before the former king of the pirates' execution that we only learn about a couple hundred chapters later. This might anger some fans who consider this to be spoilers, as it does technically tell you things at the wrong time when compared to the source material. One Piece Season 2 is nothing short of a miracle. It captures the incredibly absurd and cartoony world of Eiichiro Oda's manga, while not losing any of that sense of fun as it becomes a live-action series. With grand production design, exquisite costuming, and stunning VFX work, and the most adorable reindeer doctor, this is a grand adventure worth embarking on. Some choices may be controversial for manga purists, but it makes this show a unique and fresh viewing experience no matter what your familiarity with the source material may be. One Piece Season 2's IGN score? 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on One Piece Season 2, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.